Hi, boys and girls. So today we are going to continue working on character feelings, and we're going to read one of my favorite books, if you remember, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. And I know a lot of you are saying that you've seen the movie. Yes, there is a movie of this book, but it is a little bit different. I personally like the book a lot better. And this book is by Judith Viorst and illustrated by Ray Cruz. Everett is getting in trouble. We're just going to ignore that. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on my skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running, and I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. What does it look like he is feeling this morning? I think Alexander looks very grumpy. Do any of you wake up in a grumpy mood in the mornings? At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box, but in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. What feelings do you think Alexander is having in these pictures? I think here he definitely looks annoyed. He is annoyed that he didn't get a toy in his cereal. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. So here he is in the car. What does it look like he's feeling? I think he looks angry and frustrated. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. Why would a teacher not really like a picture of an invisible castle? What does it look like his teacher is feeling here? Maybe a little frustrated, a little annoyed because did he really draw anything? No, you can't draw an invisible castle. He just drew nothing and claimed it was an invisible castle. That's kind of lazy. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. What do you think he's feeling here? Maybe embarrassed that he left out 16 when he was counting? I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moya was his next best friend, and I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone part and lands in Australia. Oh boy, what does Alexander look like he's feeling here? He looks very, very angry. Very frustrated. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I think here it looks like Alexander is feeling maybe disappointed that he didn't have any dessert in his lunch. That's what it was, because after school my mom took us all to the dentist and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. Oh boy, Alexander is not a happy boy today. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot, and while we were waiting for my mom to go get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And so here he looks like he's hurt from the elevator closing his door, or closing on his foot. And here he's crying because of the mud. While I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. Do we punch our brothers? Definitely not. What is his mother feeling here? She is upset. She is not happy that he is fighting with his brother. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the man said we're sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. So what can you tell the difference between how his brothers are feeling and how Alexander is feeling? What do you think? His brothers look pretty pleased, happy, content. Alexander still looks very upset. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with the phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Alexander actually looks a little bit happier now that he's at his dad's office. But how does his dad look like he's feeling? Maybe frustrated, annoyed that Alexander's causing so many problems. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. What does Alexander look like he's feeling here? Maybe disgusted, grossed out, doesn't like lima beans, doesn't like kissing. He's like, ugh, gross. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says some days are like that. Even in Australia. And that is the end. I hope you learned some new feeling words today reading Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Check out your assignment for today, and you're going to be writing about some feelings that Alexander has in this story in your journal.